Pakistan is going to not just change the reality, change the future for the country where we see ourselves as one of the most vulnerable to climate change and impact, to actually making positive impact and helping the world go green. And ladies and gentlemen, that dream has already starting to take shape. As Dr. Musaddiq was already pointing out, we have some of the most significant global players right now present in this very hall. And we are very happy and honored to also have Barrick Gold Corporation as our partner in putting together Pakistan's landmark Pakistan Minerals Summit for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take this opportunity now to invite the Chief Executive Officer of Barrick Gold Corporation. Please welcome Dr. Mark Bristow for his address.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister, Chief of Army Staff, Honorable Minister of Petroleum, General Wajid Aziz, special mention to you and thank you for all the work that you've done with us to make this such a splendid occasion. Honorable Minister, the one thing I always say to my people is, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And for me, you very clearly laid out a destination today. Challenging, I might say, but we have a destination. And so with that, there's a very real chance we'll get there. This today, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all, is truly a milestone in Pakistan's books. And this milestone, as the Minister said, didn't take place in isolation. And due credit must be given to the Special Investment Facilitation Council appointed by His Excellency the Prime Minister. Looking back at our voyage in this country, we go back to 2006. And it means a lot and many things to me. And it was that day in December 2022 when we signed the new Reko Diq agreement that I knew this country was changing. And this deal that we signed has a lot of meaning. It was the first of real partnerships. We as miners mine all around the world. But the one thing that I'm clear about is that we are entrusted with our host country's assets. It's our job to bring them to account in partnership with the people of our host countries. That long voyage, those disagreements in the past, there's a lesson for everyone, and that is, in this modern world with all this conflict, you don't find solutions without dialogue, without openness, without engagement, without listening. And we're very proud of where we got to. Those ladies and gentlemen, lawyers, advisors, bankers who worked with us, and of course the politicians in Pakistan, to take us from a place where there was no agreement to today, because this is a culmination of all those months of engagement. And in particular, we're proud, I always say to people, a true partnership is when you share 50-50. A 60-40 or a 20-80 is not a partnership. And so that was the guidance for us in engaging in finding a way, clearing the destination for Reko Diq. And we're proud of the fact that we have 50% of Reko Diq owned by the people of Pakistan. And that 50% is split, ably held by the state-owned enterprises, 25, and 25% of that for the people of Balochistan. And I would point out that this is the first time we've seen a deal like this in the history of mining on this planet. And what's more, the Balochistan 25% is funded by the other investors in the project. You know, building on my partnership theory, when we go to these countries, we have stakeholders. And how do we share the God-given wealth of our mineral endowment? And that is through embracing stakeholders, starting with the people of the country, as the minister pointed out. And that is, we should pay rent because we should develop profitable businesses that pay tax. So that goes to the treasury and everyone benefits. But it's about employing business, local business. It's also about employing people, and not just labor, but investing in upskilling the people around the mines particularly, but across the country. And we've already started that. We've opened our first primary schools in the Reko Diq region, and those will work. Those young children will be the future of Reko Diq, because Reko Diq is going to be there for multiple generations. We've also invested in the middle part, those people who are going to initially open the mine. And at the same time, we've gone to the universities and found the Balochistan students who have already graduated, and we are going to develop those people as leaders for Reko Diq into the future. And they're going to be sent to our operations around the world. Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, I want to stop there for a minute and just point out one thing. We all talk about strategic metals. I have a different view. I come from emerging markets like you do. Every metal and mineral that has a market, in my mind, is strategic. More importantly, it's not just about green energy. Of course, that's important, and we are already investing in that. But if we want to save this planet, if we want to create a planet that's safe, secure for our children and grandchildren, we need to develop the underdeveloped economies of this world. We need to uplift people out of poverty. And to do that, we need to industrialize. And my good friend from Saudi Arabia and his kingdom, they're leading that industrialization. Not the industrialization that got us here in the last 100 years, but a new way of industrializing, a more responsible way. And to do that, we do not have enough metals and minerals defined. And this endowment, this God-given endowment that Pakistan shares along the Tethyan trend from Eastern Europe all the way down into Fiji and Papua New Guinea. It's an endowment, it's another new Andean endowment like we have witnessed in South America. And so this day for me is special. It's a real gateway for all of us. I think I couldn't have done it better, Minister. And really, we as investors, it's about partnerships, and we appreciate the red carpet. But the other part of that is responsibility. And so as investors, and I'm sure that I can speak for my colleagues who have made the trip all the way here today from the major mining companies, at short notice, by the way, that we absolutely are committed to partnering with you in unlocking your endowment in this country. And again, just as a final note, that endowment doesn't stop with minerals and metals, but our human capital in this part of the world is unsurpassed and young and ambitious. And that is really the endowment that we need to unlock that treasure chest here. Back to General Wajid Aziz. General, when you sent me that email 20 days ago, I didn't believe I'd be standing here today with all this arrangement. So it will be remiss of me to say thank you to everyone who's made this happen. And more importantly, thank you, all of you who've made the time to come here, visit, those who have traveled from afar. And, you know, I could stand here all day talking about Reko Diq and my experience in that part of Balochistan. But talk is cheap. And all I want to leave you with is we are absolutely committed to walk this road, the road that the Minister outlined earlier, with you all in Balochistan. Thank you very much and enjoy this conference.
Thank you, Dr. Mark Bistro. And what you've said has been reiterated recently in a 2018 report by the World Bank, The Wealth of the Nations. They estimate that 77% of Pakistan's wealth is its people, young, ambitious, skilled, and professional. And of course, we require the enablement that has now been put in force as the SIFC. Ladies and gentlemen, this really is the thrust that Pakistan needed to catapult itself towards the possibilities. But we also have friends in the region who've done it before, who have the expertise, and we are very grateful for their presence and for them to always be there with Pakistan through all seasons. Now, as Pakistan embarks on this new journey, we once again require their expertise and their understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, for his keynote address, please join me in welcoming the Vice Minister of Mining Affairs, Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please welcome Engineer Khalid bin Saleh Al Mudaffir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. The Honorable Prime Minister for the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, the Honorable, His Excellency, the Honorable Chief of the Army Staff of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, General Sayyid Munir, Your Excellencies, friends and colleagues, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. From dust to development. The theme of this year, Pakistan Mineral Summit, From Dust to Development, really summarizes our journeys in the mining industry, but also in our continued bridge building, aspiring to engage, impact, and fuel the growing opportunities on the horizon. I sincerely thank the organizers for providing the platform to discuss the critical role of the mineral sector to foster sustainable economic development and strengthen our ties as we continue to build upon the long-standing and robust relationship between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Allow me to begin by emphasizing the long-standing and strong relationships between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. We have not only historical, religious, and cultural ties, but also successes as we are expanding our reach in the trade and investment domains. The relationship is not merely built on diplomatic ties. It is rooted in the profound bond of brotherhood, shared values, and common aspirations. Throughout the years, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have stood shoulder to shoulder, supporting each other in times of need, whether it was during challenging times or moments of triumph. The spirit of solidarity has remained unwavering. This bond has been further strengthened through the shared principle of Islam, which form the bedrock of our societies. Moreover, the people-to-people exchanges have fostered understanding, cultural appreciation, and mutual respects. Pakistanis, brothers and sisters, expatriates in Saudi Arabia have not only contributed to the kingdom's progress, but have also been ambassadors of goodwill, further cementing the bonds between our two great nations. Now we mark another milestone in our bilateral cooperation as we develop opportunities in the mining and mineral sectors. Going back to the mining industry, it has been driving force behind the economic development of many nations worldwide. Mineral resources have played a crucial role in trade promotions, job creation, and overall economic growth. The mineral sector is a treasure trove of opportunity, and we are determined to seize them by formulating new regulatory standards, adapting world ESG practices, utilizing modern technologies, and investing in infrastructure and human resources. Many macro factors are driving the need for new mining jurisdictions. First, the future will be mineral intensive. Demand is high and growing for the minerals needed to drive the net zero. Overall, mineral production must increase at least sixfold to meet the demand for clean energy technologies. New jurisdictions are the answers. Second, green metals will be in the highest demand. The International Energy Agency estimates the copper demand to grow by 20 times in 2040. Nickel demand could grow by 40 times, and lithium demand could grow by 40 times. So we must invest in underexplored new jurisdictions. Third, the world's fragile mineral and metal supply chains will continue to be under pressure. New jurisdiction will help ensure more resilient supply chains. The mineral-rich regions, which stretch from Africa to Central Asia, including Pakistan, that we call the super region, has tremendous potential to become a game changer in developing these resilient and responsible mineral value chains and providing the minerals the world desperately needs. Pakistan is blessed with vast mineral resources. Assets like the Titian Belt, stretching from Europe to the Pacific Ocean, is one of the most critical orogenic belts on Earth and is home to various mineral deposits, including copper, gold, silver, lead, and zinc. These deposits have been mined for centuries and will continue to be an essential source of economic development for Pakistan. Strategically located at the crossroad of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, Pakistan enjoys a unique advantage in regional trade and connectivity. This advantageous position can serve as a gateway for the regional and international markets, further enhancing the growth potential of the mineral sector in Pakistan. This potential is supported by Pakistan's diverse range of industrial expertise, from textile, agriculture, food processing, chemicals, cements, steel, and many others that contribute to Pakistan's economy. Pakistan is also gifted with a well-educated, talented, hard-working, and committed workforce who are making significant contribution to their home country and the global economy as well. In Saudi Arabia, 2.7 million Pakistani brothers and sisters who live and work there are making a great contribution to our economic development, which is led by Vision 2030 that is transforming Saudi Arabia into an economic powerhouse, building on the three foundations: a vibrant society, a thriving economy, and an ambitious nation. Since the launch of our vision for the future, the Kingdom has been introducing new programs, new strategies, and trillion-dollar giga projects that are delivering true transformation to achieving the economic revolution and unlock the Kingdom's full potential, including the National Industrial Development and Logistical Program, which aims to transform the Kingdom into a leading industrial powerhouse and a global logistic hub by maximizing the value of our mining and energy sectors while unlocking the full potential and local content and the fourth industrial revolution. The Kingdom also launched the National Industrial Strategy last year, building on a 50-year foundation of success, competitive advantages, and practical plans for real industrial growth from a base of already identified opportunities supported by a new approach into governance and policies. Prioritizing 12 sectors, including minerals, Saudi Arabia seeks to triple manufacturing GDP by 2030 and increase industrial exports over $148 billion. Saudi Arabia is currently the world's fourth largest and net importer of mineral. Giga projects and industrial transformation initiatives are expected to triple our local demand for minerals. That's why we are using the world's best and safest technology and centuries of know-how to further survey and explore the underexplored Kingdom and develop the identified endowments of estimated at $1.3 trillion. Over the past years, we have worked in a full transformation and development of the mining sector, including launching the world's largest and latest regional geological survey, over 600 square kilometers of Arabian Shield, with more than $1.5 billion to be spent. Developing a digital national geoscience database that contains 80 years of geological records, issuing a fully revised new world-class law that is competitive, provide for the security of tenure, is transparent, clear, and progressively embraces a new principle of ESG. Spending billions of dollars on infrastructure developments, including ports, railways, energy networks, and industrial mining city. But we know that no country can do it alone, and that even our vast mineral resources won't be enough to achieve our objectives in time. That's why the Saudi Public Investment Fund, PIF, and our national mining company, Ma'aden, created Manara Minerals, which was announced during the Future Minerals Forum in Riyadh last January, to invest in mining assets globally and secure strategic minerals that are essential for Saudi Arabia economic development, as well as the resilience of the global supply chains. We can only realize a sufficient, secure, and resilient supply of minerals if the government, industry, and other stakeholders collaborate. The notion that any single entity can solve the challenges ahead no longer applies. They are too great and complex to navigate alone. Multi-stakeholder collaborative approaches are key to bridging the gap between where the industry is and where it needs to be in order to produce minerals for a cleaner future in a way that achieves a balance between maximizing benefits for the people and minimizing harm to the environment. A key focus for our future forum in 2024 is to turn talk into action. Your Honorable Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we in Saudi Arabia have a clear purpose to enable the development for responsible mineral value chains development in Pakistan. So we have a clear purpose to enable the development of responsible mineral value chains in Pakistan by attracting investment, deploying digital and advanced technologies, and applying high standards on sustainability performance. Let us unite our efforts to harness the full potential of Pakistan's, Saudi Arabia's, and the region's mineral sector. Together we can pave the way from dust to development, transforming our nation into thriving hubs of mineral resources, economic prosperity, and sustainable growth. I look forward to celebrating soon the imminent success of the Pakistan mining sector. Until then, I invite you all to the 2024 Future Mineral Forum in January in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Together, we will reshape the future of mining in the world, not only in Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Pakistan Mineral Summit Dust to Development
Welcome Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif, the Honorable Prime Minister of Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Dr. Musaddiq Malik, Minister of State, Petroleum, Honorable Chief Army Staff, General Asim Munir, and our brother from Saudi Arabia, Engineer Khalid bin Saleh Al Mudaffir, Vice Minister of Industries, Secretary Petroleum, Captain Mahmood, and Dr. Mark Bistro, and our brother from Azerbaijan, Kamal Abbas, Deputy Minister, Excellencies, Honorable Federal Ministers, Chief Ministers, and very eminent investors, not only from Pakistan, but from our friendly countries and brotherly countries, eminent journalists, young entrepreneurs, business houses, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good late morning. I think today is a great day for me and obviously for all of us. Here is a galaxy of people belonging to various walks of life, and you can tell from their faces that they have been deeply involved and absorbed throughout the proceedings of today. I will not go into repetition. A brilliant presentation was made by Dr. Musaddiq Malik, and a very wonderful speech by our brother from Saudi Arabia. Captain Mahmood made his points very well, and Mr. Mark Bistro spoke in a very frank manner and a very heartwarming and heart-touching speech from the Chief Army Staff. So I will just stick to a few points because there is hardly anything more I can add on to their brilliance and extremely well articulated points. As it has been said that this has been a journey of 75 years, it has been mentioned that we have with us deposits worth $6 trillion. $6 trillion. Imagine $6 trillion, and yet where we stand today. I will just make a few points to explain my point of view. For example, Pakistan Steel Mills was established back in 70s with Russian support, and its entire raw material was always imported. There was, and there is, and there shall always be Kalabagh iron ore, which was probably touched and then forgotten. And there is no question about it that whatever iron content this Kalabagh iron ore had, today's technology and today's expertise could have and can easily convert into a raw material for steel plants in the shape of pellets or in other forms. Reko, another case in point. Without going into details, there was a penalty of $10 billion imposed on Pakistan. And God forbid, had this been imposed upon us and had we been forced to execute it, we would have lost our entire foreign exchange and yet not have been able to meet this challenge. Look at Tharkol, the largest or one of the largest coal deposits around the globe. Alhamdulillah, today one can say with a sense of pride and achievement that this has been now converted into wealth for Pakistan. But where were we as a nation for the last 75 years? Were we beholden to certain cartels or not able to explore this huge wealth of Pakistan for the well-being of the people of Pakistan for certain precious political reasons, or what? Is a question to be looked into deeply. Look at Cheniot iron ore, another deposit which belongs to the poor people of Pakistan and was subjected to worst kind of pilferage and corruption and corrupt practices. I will not mention names here because that is not the intent and purpose of this meeting. Because today is the day to learn our lesson from the past and now move forward in unison. But let me say a couple of things about Cheniot iron ore. It was the project, the entire project was handed over on a platter to a Pakistani residing in overseas, relative to one of those very influential people at that point in time, had no credentials, had no business history, and there was no bidding. It was simply handed over to him. And then what happened was that there was government changed, the matter was taken, the contract was rescinded, the matter went to the court of law. It took years. And finally the court of law decided that this was nothing but loot and plunder of the resources of the poor people of Pakistan. And then the matter went to Supreme Court, and that gentleman withdrew his application or petition or appeal, and nothing happened. NAB was nabbing only those who were opposed to the government of the day, and not those who had looted and plundered the scarce wealth of the people of Pakistan. So, ladies and gentlemen, This is the story, heart-wrenching story of our journey of 75 years. You cannot blame anybody else except our own self. Those governments, those who are given the responsibility of serving the cause of the people of Pakistan. So this is how we have wasted time, resources and energies which should have been dedicated for the well-being and prosperity of the people of Pakistan. Today is a day, I would say, that these wonderful speeches, presentations, now have to be converted into action. Because certainly in the past, many such events were organized, speeches were made, papers were read, presentation made, and when it came to the question of implementation, it was what I told you a minute ago, how a record was derailed, Tharkol, and so on and so forth. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, believe me, and this I'm saying without any fear of contradiction, that if we decide today that what we have seen in this presentation, what has been spoken about, if this can be converted in letter and spirit, then I'm telling you, this nation will find its lost place by the grace of God in the next few years, through hard work and through untiring efforts. And that is why I want to come to the point now. But before that, I would like to thank my brother, Minister from Saudi Arabia, for his heartwarming comments about our friendship, our brotherhood, our fraternity, which is absolutely beyond any ray of doubt. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan are two brotherly countries and have always stood by each other through thick and thin and supported the cause of both the countries at every forum and at every moment. The most recent example is your support to Pakistan to achieve IMF program. You contributed $2 billion to meet the gap, which was so vital for Pakistan's survival. And my brother, on behalf of the people of Pakistan and my government, I'd like to thank you and convey my sincere gratitude to my brother, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, for his wonderful cooperation at this hour of need. Thank you very much. This mechanism, I know we have in front of me, I can see their faces, very eminent journalists who have no fears to take things in its real perspective, have a very genuine, serious introspection, investigation, critical comments. They would ask this question, that why this SIFC? This is something unheard of. This is something we didn't know in the past. Well, the journey I've just explained to you, spanning over the last 75 years, has landed Pakistan into this situation where we want to get rid of our begging bowl and yet we can't. Where we want to really become honorable and respected, yet we need to work hard for that. And if we follow that route, which is hackneyed, which is tried, which has been tried over and over again, I think the results won't be different. And I'm one of those who believe in reality. I don't live in cuckoo's land or a fairy land. We must understand our ground reality. Look at what NAB has done to this entire system. If you talk about business community, they are dead scared because they have seen this in the past preceding years, how NAB nabbed them. Just because they invested in Pakistan, they created job opportunities and wealth for this country. How NAB treated bureaucrats, those who really contributed meaningfully and were of this view that if they come out with solutions, out-of-box solutions, which will not violate the law of the land, this country will move speedily. Look what happened to them, to their families, to their school-going kids, children. And let's not talk about politicians because they are used to this, not only during NAB era, but from decades. So I think there is a need for a serious surgical operation if we really want to have this wealth generated and make Pakistan a country which was destined to make its mark, which was carved out of India through great sacrifices of our elders, founders of this country, to get rid of slavery and clutches of Indian hegemony and move forward and walk in the society as a nation respected by all and sundry through hard work, through sacrifice, through untiring efforts, and through valuable contribution, empowering our youth by providing them all available opportunities, creating wealth through innovative agriculture, information technology, exports, textile, and what not. But all these beautiful dreams remain unfulfilled for the reason I've just mentioned about. I will be completing my term next month, around middle of next month. Sorry, this month. Thank you very much. I was very busy for the last 48 hours. Our Chinese guests had come, so I was little confused. Thank you very much. But then we are entering into the second phase of CPAC, and that's a great achievement by the grace of God. We want to work with Americans. The American ambassadors sitting here. We really want to have best of relations with them we used to have in the past on the basis of mutual respect and trust, and not trying to deceive each other, and trying to use available opportunities for the good of both the countries and the people, and similarly with other nations in the world. We have nothing against anybody. We have to look after our own self, build our nation, even with our neighbor. We are prepared to talk to them, provided that the neighbor is serious to talk serious matters on the table. Because war is no more an option. Pakistan, alhamdulillah, is a nuclear power, not as an aggressor, but for our defense purposes. And we had 3 wars fought in the last 75 years. And what happened? I'm being very honest with you. It generated more poverty, unemployment, and lack of resources to finance education, health, and well-being of the people. So is this the way that we have to adopt? Or to have war of economic competition? Because God forbid, if there's any nuclear flashpoint, who will live to tell what happened? So that is not an option. But it is equally important that our neighbor has to understand that we cannot become normal neighbors unless abnormalities are removed, unless our serious issues are understood and addressed to through peaceful and meaningful discussions. I'm sorry for this digression. Coming back to the point, today is the day, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make a vow and a serious commitment to our Creator that पाकिस्तान एक बहुत बड़ी नेमत अल्लाह ताला ने हमें अता की, और 75 साल हमने पाकिस्तान के साथ जुल्म किया है, पाकिस्तान के गरीब अवाम के साथ ज्यादती की है, उनका हक उनको अदा नहीं किया। आज ये मौका है कि आज हम यहाँ पर पूरे पाकिस्तान की एलीट बैठी है, यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान के यहाँ पे सरमायाकार बैठे हैं, बड़े बड़े अजान बैठे हैं, सियासतदान बैठे हैं, फौजी बैठे हैं, डिप्लोमेट्स बैठे हैं, और इस फील्ड से मुतल्लिका लोग वो मौजूद हैं। मैं जो बात कर रहा था कि इस माह हमने अपनी टर्म पूरी करके अपने घर जाना है और एक इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट आनी है, उसके बाद जब इलेक्शन होंगे तो एक नई हुकूमत आएगी। मैं आज अगर आपके सामने ये बातें जो कर रहा हूँ, ये कोई नई बातें नहीं कर रहा। मैंने माजी में भी हमेशा इन्हीं अल्फाज में, टूटे फूटे अल्फाज में अपनी दास्तान, अपनी जो मारूजात आपके सामने रखी। आज बदकिस्मती से माशरा तकसीम दर तकसीम हो चुका है। आज बदकिस्मती से माशरे में जहर घोल दिया गया है। उसकी वजूहात हम सबको इल्म है, उसमें मुझे इस वक्त नहीं जाना, लेकिन क्या यही वतीरा, यही तरीका है कि हम आज ये जो प्रेजेंटेशंस यहाँ पर पेश हुई हैं और ये जो यहाँ पर एक नक्शा आपके सामने बताया गया, क्या इस तकसीम और इस हाल में हम इसको इस पर अमल पैरा होंगे और इससे नताइज हासिल करेंगे? नहीं, जब तक कि यकजहती और एक इत्तेफाक, इत्तेहाद हम उसका फैसला न कर लें, मैं समझता हूँ कि हम अपनी काविशों में कामयाब नहीं हो सकते। और उसके लिए यही जो आज जो मॉडल बनाया गया है SIFC, इसमें पूरी हुकूमत और हुकूमतें शामिल हैं, सूबों की इदारे शामिल हैं, ताकि जहाँ से किसी को मदद चाहिए वहाँ से मदद हासिल करे और इन अजीम मंसूबों को अमली जामा पहनाए। और मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं बड़े अदब के साथ और इंकिसारी के साथ मैं अर्ज़ करूँगा कि अगर हमें मैरान की वादियों में, पंजाब के मैदानों में, केपीके के पहाड़ों में और बलूचिस्तान के संगलाख पहाड़ों में अपने गरीब अवाम का अगर ज़रा भी दर्द है और ख्याल है, इस मुल्क के अंदर बसने वाले करोड़ों नौजवान बच्चों और बच्चियों को उनका मुस्तकबिल संवारने का अगर हम में जज्बा और दर्द है, और इस मुल्क में लाखों यतीमों और बेवाओं को उनका हक दिलवाने का अगर हम में जज्बा और दर्द है, तो फिर वो रास्ता तलाश करें जिससे कि इंशाअल्लाह हम अपनी मंजिल तक पहुंचेंगे। और वो रास्ता सिर्फ वही है इत्तेहाद का, इत्तेफाक का और बराबर दिन रात मेहनत का। मैं इन अल्फाज के साथ अपनी बात ख़त्म करते हुए इकबाल के इस शेर से अपनी बात ख़त्म करूँगा। माफ़ कीजिए, मैं देख लूँ कोई पॉइंट को रह तो नहीं गया जी, एक पॉइंट रह गया। it's a story of dust to development, but we have seen this story of sand dunes to development in the recent years and recent decades in the Middle East, in Gulf State, in Saudi Arabia, in UAE. Look at what Saudi Arabia has done. They've converted their sand dunes. Of course, they have black gold, no doubt. They have natural gas, no doubt. But we have these trillions of dollars of worth, natural resources, water, great brains sitting in front of us in all walks of life. There is nothing that we don't have, which our brothers have. Of course, in different shapes and colors. So, if sand dunes could be converted into great models of progress and prosperity by our brothers, sitting here and sitting there, in UAE, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, why can't we convert our dust into gold? That is the pointed issue. So, the answer lies in completely getting rid of red tape, bureaucratic hurdles, delays, lack of decision making. Our State Minister Musaddiq, he's a brilliant person. Believe me, I'm not trying to flatter him. I'm not in this habit. But this is a fact. He's a brilliant person. I always pray that Allah grants him the power to take decisions. He will turn around things, inshallah. So I think we have everything. We lack only in one thing, and that is will to do. If we gather that will, I think sky would be the limit. My concluding शेर इज इकबाल शेर कि फर्द कायम रब्ते मिल्लत से है तना कुछ नहीं, फर्द कायम रब्ते मिल्लत